Hello, welcome to the channel The Dry Omas, the Three Grandmothers. I'm your host, Carmen. In the previous video, we have studied that our three grandmothers were beautiful, gorgeous. They were not reptilian, they were not mantis, and definitely they were not Ray. But what kind of civilization were they? What do we know up to now about alien civilizations? The first one to introduce this concept was the Russian Kardashev in 1964. He proposed a scale of civilization level based on the technological advance regarding the amount of energy that the civilization can harness and uses. He made three classifications. You can read it here. Type 1, that is able to access to the energy that is provided in the planet and storage and consumption. Type 2 can directly consume a star energy. And type 3, able to capture all the energy emitted by the galaxy. After Kardashev, some other scientists have extended the scale of civilization level. Carl Sagan, for example, proposed an additional alphabetical classification to indicate the level of social development expressed in the amount of information available to the civilization. Michio Kaku, for example, at another stage, type 4, civilization will be able to draw the energy it needs from intergalactic radiation by study the evolution of technologies that have changed the history. For example, from paper to integrated circuits, and nowadays with internet. But the most approach I like it is from the English John David Barrow. He proposes another category, and he spoke about the micro-dimensional mastering, the ability to manipulate their environment to smaller and smaller scales rather than a large and large one. For example, it's capable of manipulating object of the scales itself, manipulation of genes, capable of manipulation of molecules, create new materials, manipulation of atoms, atomic nucleus, and this one, most elementary particles of matter, quarks and leptons. And he goes even beyond this type omega minus, capable of manipulating the fundamental structure of space and time. Our three grandmothers belongs to this type 6. Let's find out why. This is another book based on the translation of Alexander Eleazar. There are many books which speak about our origins, our real history, but they are in private collections. Only a few have access to these forbidden books. Eleazar had a good contact network, and he was allowed to read some of these books. What is written here is how the civilization of our three grandmother was, how it worked, and what technology they had. Let's read something about it. They had a device that it was called the biotech or bibliothecae. That was a device that can record and reproduce the light particles and sound of events in the past. When they achieved this technology, the past and the development of civilization was known. They had a heart device. The heart never stopped beating. In case of emergency, a valve was fired that caused the blood to be momentarily impregnated with a substance that cauterized the wounds at the time, preventing bleeding. Physical regeneration. They have like a yellow substance, yellow liquid that calls meal, and it extends life. They live many, many years, centuries. And they have a personal biotech, personal device that can have a remote access. And in case of emergency, the device will send an impulse to the heart to get it going again. And in case of threat of imminent danger, stop his heart to make the enemy believe that he was dead. Then he will be revived. They were geneticists. There is an anecdote that Maria created a white horse as a birthday gift when his son was 17 years old. So actually, they introduced new animals and plants to this planet. The horse was brought by them. It didn't exist in this world before them. The symbol of the Pegasus, the real meaning was that it came from the sky. That is why the horse is represented with wings. Very impressive, but the really most striking of this civilization is the behavior of the souls was evaluated, and if deserved, they receive a second body. Wow, we're talking about the transcendent of the souls. The main question is why the study of the souls has been only considered a matter of religion or spirituality. Why the official science has no interest to study this concept of the souls? I guess because it's scary. Because if we had a scientific study of the souls, the first question will be what's the soul? How the existence of the soul can be verified? What's the difference between mind, conscious, and soul? And what's the difference between an artificial intelligence and the soul? Will it possible that the artificial intelligence could develop a soul? And once the existence is confirmed that the soul exists, how to assess their development, their behavior, how to develop a soul? And the most important thing is how a soul is linked to a physical body. In how a soul is linked to a physical body. In many religions and spiritual practice, they all talk about the silver cord, but this concept is merely reduced to a metaphysical or spiritual subject. I'm sorry to tell you, but the mythology of the dry Moiras, the fates, is not a fairy tale. They were real, they existed. They have this technology and the ability to vinculate a soul with a physical body. They saw it live. In the movies, we see the astronauts are looking for planets to be colonized. Very nice and excited movies, but the idea is inefficient, totally inefficient. Do you want to put people into hibernation, suspended animation? How many people can be there? How big an energy effort do you need to move these ships, this machine? The amount of effort will be unnecessary. How far do you want to go? And even the idea of transport embryos, it's also not efficiency because you have the limitation or the physical body. You need planets with similar conditions of oxygen, pressure, environmental. So you need to find planets that are compatibility with your physical body. But if you know what a soul is, the characteristic of souls, it will be much easier, more efficient to transfer only souls in a very tiny bag of marbles. And you can print bodies that are compatible with the bodies in this planet, with a new body that is fitted to the new planet. So you just have to link the souls. So what our three grandmothers were doing is that the physical body can be created to the constitution of a specific planet, and the soul is just linked. And at the end, the objective is showing life, and it's more efficiency. You just need a bag of marbles with souls, thousands of souls for new planets, planets with the conditions, and you just print a body that is fit for these new conditions. However, our three grandmothers were not the first engineers. They were created as well. They were the gardener of someone else. But who were the first engineers? The one who started with this project of seeding life in the world? We call them the Haitianos, the first engineers. And that is what we are going to talk about in our next episode. Until next time. Bye bye.